And why is the impact of MERS-CoV on animal health is very low? Human infection has significant public health impact, as you know. And human-to-human transmission is possible and has occurred predominantly through the close contact and in healthcare settings. And approximately 80% of human cases have been recorded in our region. And since the discovery of MERS, WHO and WHO and FAO have combined their efforts to bring public health and animal health experts and from affected and at-risk countries, as well as academic scientists and subject matter experts of high threat respiratory pathogen, as well as several global technical meetings to review and validate the latest scientific evidence on MERS-CoV, which enhance the cooperation and collaboration across sectors worldwide to limit the speed of infection at the animal-human interface using One Health approach. However, amid the COVID pandemic, attention to MERS has drastically dropped. Therefore, control efforts and good practice in endemic areas must be consistently heightened and strengthened. It is important in this regard to recall experiences and lessons learned from countries and the global communities with influenza, SARS, MERS-CoV, and most recently SARS-CoV-2 to strengthen readiness and curb any possibilities of potential future epidemic and pandemics. We are honored to have on board today one of the WHO prominent experts in MERS, Dr. Guanulan Pavet. He is a veterinarian with a doctorate in veterinary pathology. He is working as a senior scientific coordinator for avian influenza and camel diseases at WHO headquarters in Paris since 2010. His main activities at WHO include secretariat of the OFFLU network and coordination of scientific laboratory networks and technical support for the control of animal and zoonotic diseases, including animal influenza, African swine fever, PPR, rabies, MERS-CoV, and other camel diseases. Dr. Babit has published several papers and represented WHO in international conferences and symposiums. Before Dr. Babit starts, we request you to open your cameras to have a group photo if you are interested, and then the floor will be for the Dr. Babit. Dear colleague, if you are interested, please open your cameras to take a group photo with the speaker, and then we will start our session. Mr. Mahdi, are you ready?
Yes, we're ready.
أهلا دكتور ميرفت، دكتور نجلة. Welcome.
أهلا دكتور.
دكتور غادة، كيف أحوالك يا غادة؟ مرحبا دكتور نبيل. To our respectful attendees, the floor will be open after the lecture for questions and discussions. And also, if you have any arising question, you can exchange it with the chat. And we are looking forward for interactive session after Dr. Guanulan delivered his presentation.
It's done. Thank you.
Thank you all. And now the floor is yours, Dr. Guanulan. Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. I'm Gunalan Pawade. Thanks, Dr. Tariq, for introducing me and welcoming you to deliver this webinar on MERS coronavirus epidemiology and control methods. So I'm going to share my screen now. Put it in. Okay, so I think you could now see the slides in PowerPoint presentation mode. Okay, so I hope you all know about the MERS coronavirus, which is called the Middle East Respiratory Syndrome coronavirus. So the Middle East MERS coronavirus is a zoonotic virus from dromedary camels, causing significant mortality and morbidity in humans in the Arabian Peninsula, and was first reported from Saudi Arabia and Jordan in 2012. So it is almost like 12 years before the disease was first detected in humans. So then the investigation started about this new disease. Then the scientific community found this Middle East respiratory syndrome has circulated in dromedary camels for decades, for a long time, but only spilled over to humans in the year 2012 for unknown reasons. So after a lot of research and investigations, it was found out other camelids species like bacterian, alpacas, and llamas are also susceptible to MERS coronavirus. So what, after a lot of scientific investigations and research findings, it was found that dromedary camels have been shown to be a natural reservoir for this virus, from where this species, then it spilled over to humans. So then the human to infection is also reported, especially in healthcare settings. So as everybody might know, that Africa has the largest number of dromedary camels in the world, and MERS coronavirus is endemic in these camels. Although locally occurred zoonotic human MERS coronavirus is confined to the Arabian Peninsula and has not been reported from Africa to date. So you can understand, although the dromedary camel population is more in Africa, but the human infections normally appear only in the Arabian Peninsula. The MERS coronavirus, or viral RNA, identified in dromedary camels in countries in the Middle East and North Africa. The antibodies to MERS coronavirus detected in populations of camels in the Middle East and African countries. So when you screen for the antibodies, the MERS coronavirus is detected ranging from 0 to 100% in the Middle East and African countries, which means it is widely prevalent, circulating in the dromedary camels. Let us see about what kind of virus and what is this family and the order which the coronavirus belongs. So the coronaviruses are a large family of viruses that can cause mild to severe illness, usually gastrointestinal or respiratory. In these coronaviruses, MERS coronavirus is one of the 3 zoonotic coronaviruses to have emerged with global impact over the past 2 decades. The other 2 are the SARS coronaviruses and the SARS coronavirus 2, which caused the COVID-19 pandemic recently. So the MERS coronavirus belongs to the genus Beta coronavirus in the family Coronaviridae under the order Nidovirales. So this MERS coronavirus is an enveloped positive sense single-stranded RNA virus and has a size of approximately 30 kilobytes. So MERS coronaviruses can be differentiated into 3 distinct clades, A, B, and C. So only A and B were found in the Arabian Peninsula, although the clade A viruses have not been detected after 2015 in Arabian Peninsula and may have been extinct. Only now in the Arabian Peninsula, the clade B viruses have been circulating and it is evolving in the Arabian dromedary camels. and it is this clade is responsible for all officially reported human cases. In Africa, as I told you, which has the largest dromedary camel population, only clade C viruses are circulating there. Okay, with regard to the host, as I told you already, the animal reservoir is dromedary camels, though MERS coronaviruses does not cause any apparent disease signs in dromedaries. Dromedaries are the only known non-human host involved in transmission. All camelids in affected countries are susceptible and are potential host. According to the research findings, dromedary camels or other animals in proximity to the dromedary camels may act as incidental host like goats, sheep, donkeys, cattle tested positive in Egypt and Senegal. So these animals which has been in proximity to dromedary camels may also get as incidental host and have shown positive, seropositive for MERS coronavirus. So with regard to the susceptibility, the dromedary calves are initially protected by the maternal antibodies, but become susceptible to MERS coronavirus between 4 to 6 months of age. At young age, 4 to 6 months, they become susceptible after the maternal antibody production to the MERS coronavirus. The virus is present in the nose of young dromedaries up to adolescent age, that is up to 8 to 9 months. After that, we can see over 90% of adult dromedaries over 2 to 4 years possess MERS coronavirus antibodies for at least 10 years or during their entire lifetime. That means once they got this virus is there, it is there for a lifelong, and they will show a lot of antibody positive if you screen the adult dromedaries because they are the reservoir. This virus is reservoired by the dromedary camels. But with regard to the clinical signs, we don't see any significant clinical signs in dromedary camels or what. Only in the experimental or field infections, we could see slight nasal discharge, fever, and loss of appetite. With regard to the pathology, large quantity of MERS coronavirus and viral RNA detected in nasal swab specimens from camels. So when you histopathologically examine, the virus was detected in the upper respiratory tract, including nasal turbinates, olfactory epithelium, pharynx, and larynx. The respiratory epithelium in the nasal turbinates is the predominant site of MERS coronavirus replication in animals. In the lower respiratory tract, infectious virus was detected in the trachea. No viral antigen or lesions were detected in the alveoli. The large quantities of MERS-CoV shed in nasal secretions suggests that camel to camel and camel to human transmission may occur readily through direct contact and large droplet or possibly through fomite transmission. Okay, let us see what happens in the situation in the humans. So I told you already the disease was first identified in 2012 in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and then human cases have been reported in the past 12 years in more than 27 countries across the Middle East, North Africa, Europe, North America, and Asia. The majority, about 84% of these cases are reported in Saudi Arabia, and all primary cases were exposed in Arabian Peninsula. So these are all the countries. As you can see, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, Oman, Kuwait, Yemen, Iran, Bahrain, Egypt, Lebanon, Tunisia, Algeria, UK, France, Germany, Italy, Netherlands, Greece, Malaysia, Philippines, Republic of Korea, China, Thailand, USA have reported human infections. So you can see how many cases have been reported so far. There are 2,613 cases confirmed with 943 fatalities since September 2012. So it is a big global public health threat. So this is, as I told you, MERS coronavirus is a global threat. So as you can see here, as I told you, there is the orange color or the light orange color. You can see the camel to camel infections happening, and from camel to humans. and in the blue, the human-to-human transmissions in healthcare settings or local settings. So it is a global threat which happens, the transmission happens in all the three ways and making it a very significant global threat to the public disease. So here you can see this slide, the breakdown of human MERS coronavirus cases by potential source of exposure in percentage. So you can see the red one, the primary with reported animal contact, and down below the orange, primary, no reported animal, and then the secondary and no data available. So these are all the breakdown of human MERS coronaviruses. As you can see, all the human cases has some kind of a primary reported animal contact. So considering the significance of the MERS coronavirus in animal, FAO in collaboration with laboratories have conducted field surveys in a number of countries. So this map shows you the number of positive findings. With the yellow color, you can see the positive findings, RNA, whether it can be RNA, viral RNA, or it can be an antibody positive that is shown in the North America, Middle East, Arabian Peninsula, and other regions. So you can see positive findings have been there globally distributed using the field surveys conducted in over the years. With regard to the shedding from camels, not only on the respiratory route, but there were a lot of research was happening the MERS shedding other than the non-respiratory routes. So uncertainty remains high regarding the role of different camel products and excretions in zoonotic transmission. Shedding through the conjunctiva, because the research has found out the MERS coronavirus shedding through the conjunctiva, through oral route, feces, milk, urinary system, and lymphatic tissues. So this has to be taken note that although not only the respiratory route, the virus is also shed through other non-respiratory route. There are a lot of publications over the years that has been published to inform MERS coronavirus RNA were detected in nasal swabs, exhaled breath, milk, urine, lymph nodes, saliva and oral swabs, conjunctival swabs, feces, seminal plasma. So one should note that when I say it is the viral RNA is detected and not any infectious viral material. So this is something we need to, more research is needed. What is the significance of this RNA detected in these non-respiratory routes and with regard to the public health threat? So as I told you, shedding and tissue localization of the infectious MERS-CoV is confirmed in non-respiratory routes and organs, feces and lymphatic tissue. And the shedding of RNA is detected through several non-respiratory routes, but the shedding level and the presence of infectious virus is not clear. The amounts of shedding, the routes could be affected by exposure dose, interval between camel infection and sampling, virus clade, and host intrinsic factors. The epidemiological investigation of zoonotic events should include data and sample collection covering all possible shedding routes and human-to-camel exposure patterns. Research and field studies need to give a higher attention to better understand all possible shedding routes to inform the risk assessment of MERS-CoV camel-to-human transmission. With regard to the food safety, because as I told you about the virus shedding in different routes, not only in the respiratory, but non-respiratory route also. What is the food safety environment? There is limited scientific data exists regarding the risk of human infection of MERS-CoV from injection or contact with raw milk, meat, and urine, and the risk for human health when consuming and handling of contaminated products. This is still unknown. What we understood is the heat treatment or pasteurization of milk will kill the virus and drastically reduce human risk of infection from milk consumption. So, however, during the slaughtering purpose, contamination of organs from respiratory tissues may occur and potentially represent a human exposure risk when handling raw camel meat or organs. Protective measures are therefore required when slaughtering camels and handling their meat or offal. MERS coronavirus is relatively stable in the environment, and thus fomites and dust may also be a source of human exposure. As I told you, there are some international regulations for the notification of MERS coronavirus in both humans and animals. So in humans, the human cases, MERS coronavirus in human cases has to be reported to WHO through international health regulations as informed in the international health regulations. Likewise, at OHA, we also studied the importance of MERS coronavirus in dromedary camels, and after a period of time, MERS coronavirus in dromedary camels was also accepted as a OHA listed diseases. So that means all the animal cases, especially the dromedary camel cases, if it comes positive, has to be reported to OHA under the World Animal Health Information System, the WAGIS platform, where you can find all the members and countries report all animal diseases through this platform. So MERS coronavirus also has to be reported to the dromedary camels. You may ask a question, why the MERS coronavirus is not causing any significant disease in dromedary camels? Why it needs to be? However, it has have a significant zoonotic potential. So to help the public health and also to global public health impact, we need to understand what is happening in the animal side. That's the reason MERS-CoV was listed as a OHA listed diseases, and members and countries are encouraged to do surveillance and report the MERS-CoV infections in dromedary camels to OHA. So other than the notifications, OHA has also produced international standards. So the OHA establishes standards for the improvements of animal health and welfare and veterinary public health worldwide for the prevention of disease spread to international trade of animals and non-animal products. So the OHA standards is recognized by the World Trade Organization as the international standard setting organization for animal health and zoonosis. So these standards contribute to a fairer rules-based trading system by supporting international harmonization. So there are codes, international codes, which are in the terrestrial codes and terrestrial manuals. So the develops and publishes and updates these standards on a regular basis. So the codes are the standards for the improvement of animal health and welfare and veterinary public health to ensure safe trade. And the manual, these manuals provide standards for the diagnostic testing and the requirements for vaccines for all diseases, for important OHA listed diseases and non-listed diseases. So with regard to the MERS coronavirus in camels, so we have a case definition how the members can report for the purposes of the terrestrial code. MERS coronavirus is defined as an infection of dromedary camels with MERS-CoV. The following defines the occurrence of infection with MERS coronavirus. MERS-CoV has been isolated and identified as such in a sample from dromedary camel, or it has been detected in a sample from a dromedary camel showing clinical signs or pathological lesions consistent with MERS-CoV, or with epidemiological lines either to a confirmed or suspected case or to a human infected with MERS, or giving cause for suspicion of previous association or contact with MERS-CoV. So the case definition says that the virus has to be isolated, or it has to be identified through a real-time RT-PCR in 2 segments, or with a sequencing available. So this is where the cases has to be reported, confirmed, and reported to the OHA. So we say when it is reporting the MERS coronavirus, the surveillance in camels is quite important. Although Africa has the largest number of dromedary camels and MERS-CoV is endemic there, human infections are normally occur only in the Arabian Peninsula and has not been reported from Africa to date. So there are viral, genetic, and phenotypic differences in viruses from different parts of Africa that may be relevant to differences in zoonotic potential, highlighting the need for studies of MERS-CoV at the human-animal interface. The lack of routine surveillance information about MERS-CoV circulation in dromedary camels restricts the understanding of the transmission dynamics and epidemiology in dromedary camel populations. Now we will move on to the diagnostic standards for MERS-CoV in animals. So as I told you, in the terrestrial manual, we have the diagnostic standards that have been written by the group of experts based on the research findings available. So you can see for the detection of the agent, the real-time RT-PCR is the test that is widely used for population freedom from infection or individual animal freedom from infection prior to movement, and also confirmation of clinical cases and prevalence of infection for the surveillance purposes. And the antigen detection using immunochromatography is also used for confirmation of clinical cases and prevalence of infections is there. With regard to the virus isolation and identification is mostly applied for the confirmation of clinical cases. And with regard to the serological test, we have the indirect IgG ELISAs, pseudoparticle neutralization assays, and neutralization assays are available. So these test procedures are detailedly available in the terrestrial manual chapter 3.5.2, where you can find all the procedures for these techniques. So just in concisely about the real-time RT-PCR, so your nasal swabs are the preferred samples for laboratory detection of MERS-CoV in animals. They can be screened for MERS coronavirus RNA using a real-time RT-PCR targeting the upstream region of the envelope gene. The presence of viral nucleic acid can be confirmed by either a positive RT-PCR result on both the two specific genomic targets, targeting the open reading frame 1A gene, or a single positive target with sequencing of a second target. Serological test. Serum samples can be screened for the presence of virus-specific antibodies by using a ELISA, a virus neutralization assay, or a pseudoparticle neutralization assay. As I told you, MERS coronavirus is widely circulating in some populations of dromedary camels, resulting in high antibody prevalence. Serological evidence does not help to determine active infection or help with case confirmation. So we need to do the virus isolation or real-time RT-PCR for case confirmation. Serological test is just to screen for the prevalence. Vaccine candidates. So there are a lot of talks going on about how to prepare for vaccines, both for the humans as well as for the camels. Here I will mention only about the camels. So WHO is also working with its partners to develop vaccine candidates that can be used in the human populations to prevent this MERS coronavirus. Likewise, the vaccine candidates also research on MERS coronavirus in camels is also going for many years. At present, we have 3 vaccine candidates in dromedary camels in pipeline. The first one is a DNA-based vaccine, and the second one is an adjuvanted spike protein subunit vaccine, and the third is a modified Vaccinia Ankara vaccine, a viral vector-based vaccine. So these vaccine candidates research is ongoing in pipeline. Only phase 1 trials have been completed, and there are a lot of still research is ongoing. So we need to consider how these vaccines, once finished and will be uptaken by the community, what are all the pros and cons of taking this one, whether the camel community owners will be accepting this camel vaccination, what is the resource available for production of the camel vaccines, how it could be accepted. This needs to be explored and discussed with the international organizations as well as the community on a large scale. So as I told you, this MERS coronavirus is a zoonotic virus. So we need to tackle this disease applying a One Health approach. The challenges of MERS-CoV can only address using a One Health approach, using multi-sectoral collaboration, communication, and cooperation. So for this, at the global level, WOHA works closely with WHO, FAO, and UNEP for MERS coronavirus issues and convenes joint global technical meetings to share and advance knowledge and guide policy. So we have a tripartite work plan on MERS-CoV. So where we have formulated field surveys in humans and animals, anthropological studies, knowledge, attitude, practices studies, interagency. We used to regular interagency coordination calls, and the research agenda, the research gaps on MERS coronavirus is keep on being updated regularly. For this, the tripartite and now the quadripartite, we arrange global technical meetings to discuss MERS coronavirus and other emerging zoonotic coronaviruses. So you can see in the slide where we have arranged global technical meetings on MERS coronavirus in December 2017. And during the COVID pandemic, we arranged it virtually in November 2021. And very recently, in November 2023, we had a big global technical meeting on MERS coronavirus in 2023. The reports and the publications of this are available on the online, and we are about to release the report of the November 2023 Kingdom of Saudi Arabia report very shortly. So to address MERS coronavirus under a One Health approach at the global level, the international organizations should facilitate the sharing of experiences and good practices among countries to facilitate joint research studies, develop and publish technical standards and guidelines for testing methods, surveillance approaches, outbreak investigation protocols. At the national and regional level, all affected risk countries with higher concerns should establish networks for sharing of information and coordination. They should agree on a One Health approach to respond to the threats of MERS-CoV and other transboundary zoonotic diseases. The government should raise public awareness about the risk of infection among exposed populations and establish a joint risk communication strategy between animal and public health. So finally, to conclude my talk, so MERS coronavirus in dromedary camels is a OHA listed diseases and needs to be reported to OHA through World Animal Health Information System. So the MERS coronavirus in dromedary camels act as a reservoirs, but however, the MERS coronavirus spillovers to humans, which pose a significant public health concerns, emphasizing the need for continued surveillance. So the surveillance, when I say there is an increased need for MERS coronavirus surveillance and reporting in camels and humans, with renewed emphasis across the Middle East, because there are a lot of cases as happening both on the human side and the animal side in the Middle East, and a particular focus in Africa to explore what is happening there also. There are a lot of fundamental knowledge gaps remain about the transmission happening between the camels and from camels to the humans. So the scientifically based decisions and risk management measures are based on precautionary measures and good hygiene practices. So we need to have further scientific studies to better understand the dynamics of MERS coronavirus in the camel population. What is the mode of transmission between the camels and humans, so that it will be helpful for developing appropriate measures to reduce the risks to public and animal health. Okay, so here I stop my presentation and open the floor for any questions.
Thanks, Monanan, for this well-crafted lecture, and I think provide a wealth of information regarding the MERS-CoV. Thanks for highlighting this most significant aspects of the disease regarding transmission, regarding the gap in the research, regarding the significance of multisectoral and collaboration and coordination and communication under One Health umbrella, which is essential to control the disease and understand this all of the dynamics of the disease. As Guanlan said, that the floor is open for our colleagues to interact or to ask questions. You can open your mic and go ahead. Meanwhile, Guanlan, because the offload network is also the framework of scientists and researcher also regarding the one of the most important respiratory disease, avian influenza. Is there any effort being done from this framework to also to provide effort to bridge this gap in knowledge for MERS-CoV? Is there any effort being done by this network to address the knowledge gaps or the research needs for the MERS-CoV?
Yeah. Yeah, so AFLU network is mainly dedicated to animal influenza. So where we were mostly involved in avian influenza, swine influenza, equine influenza, and influenza happening in wild birds, and now mammals, and very recently in dairy cattle. So what we are doing, this animal influenza is there for decades of many years, and very recently it was there. So this network, we have established this animal network, and it has been collaborating with the public health, mainly WHO, very effectively for sharing of information. So I think for me, it can be a good example of flu network that could be established in the Middle East or Arabian Peninsula, where we now have the Caminet. So this is a perfect example for Caminet to follow the footsteps of flu network, where the animal and the public health colleagues can join, share information on regular basis. Because of flu network, we share information on regular basis. We arrange Zoom calls whenever there is some specific case to share information between the animal health and the public health, sequence information, what is happening, risk management, risk assessment. So we have a good collaboration. So it can be a good example. I will say, like MERS coronavirus is also a zoonotic disease, so it needs to be tackled as a One Health. So although animal influenza pose a threat to the animal health also, here the MERS coronavirus, what I understand is mostly a public health with this, not a big significant impact in the animal dromedary camels. So what we need to is to support the public health colleagues by improving surveillance in the dromedary camels, prevent the spread of disease among the camels, and also from camels to the spillovers of camels from the humans by using improving the biosecurity measures, precautionary measures when handling camels. And so we need to follow a good example of following these things.
Yes, it's quite obvious. And also, the floor is again open for the attendees to interact or ask questions, particularly those who are working closely with camels in their day-to-day working details. I think we need also to hear from them their own experiences, if any. And also, Wanulan, you highlighted the importance of the WUHA standards, the codes and manuals. They are really internationally recognized standards for animal health and welfare. And by the way, as you highlighted their importance, that because they are regularly updated and subject to continuous update based upon the scientific production from collaborating center from the specialized reference lab, and also that make them up to date, always up to date standards that are reliable to be a base for developing policies and control plan in member countries. And this what gives these standards it is power and it is significance, because they are keeping abreast with the latest development in the scientific discoveries, and also it updates as we see in the, for example, the MR, they are included the companion animals and the environmental dimension, which was not before included in the standards for the AMR, and also the issues raised by the member countries always tested and also taken into consideration when updating these standards. And also we had observatory to monitor the implementation of this standard by the member countries, and to also to analyze any difficulties of compliance with these standards. And And this is to help also to provide technical assistance and support to countries to comply with the international standards for disease control and also for other aspects of animal health. Our dear colleague, still the floor is open for any interaction or any comments. Please open your and go ahead.
Actually, when people try to ask questions, I'm just trying to because we know MERS coronavirus, the importance of surveillance in camels. How do you feel in the region, the countries they implement surveillance for the MERS-CoV in dromedary camels? Is it happening whenever there is only human cases, or it is happening as a passive surveillance or active? What about the active? Is there any active surveillance, or it's only kind of a passive surveillance whenever there is a human case detected in a location? Then they see the suspected dromedary camels, they try to do the surveillance. I could understand the human resources and the financial resources that is needed to include there. What is the reality happening in the region with regard to the surveillance?
Really, maybe when a human case is diagnosed and shared, the information is shared with the veterinary authorities, this is trigger, emergency surveillance, maybe mainly focusing on the disease. But there are regular surveillance is done for other diseases, I think. And our colleagues here who are working in the labs may also correct me. I mean, there is a regular efforts for screening and surveying, and as a part of the monitoring efforts, maybe in the whole whole of the GCC countries, I think there is effort like this, but I'm not so sure where it is directed. There is an effort directed towards surveillance for the MERS-CoV or not. But for sure, any cases reporting on the human side and shared with the veterinary services, this will trigger the immediate effort. But it is recommended that there should be a fixed surveillance and regular surveillance, because without surveillance you are working in the dark. And I think this effort is being done in the all of the country of the region. And if anyone of our colleague Hassan, Ghada, anyone he wants to comment on that, welcome. Can share his impression.
Yeah, the experience.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your kind information. I'm Dr. Afif in Madafsa.
Yeah.
Regarding the surveillance, we have, I think in Adafsa, we have done only the passive surveillance, no active surveillance still. We have to recommend for the active surveillance for this CoV. And also our main concern is the transmission of infection from camel to man, even if it is there and not confirmed. We need to make some project for that, how it transmits from camel to human beings. This is the main concern in our region. Still, we didn't know how the transmission occurs from camel to human beings. That OHE can take action for that and take any project regarding this project. And also, we have to recommend what are the WADAFSA also can collaborate with that, and we can make a new project to make sure the transmission of this disease from camel to human being. Thank you very much.
That's okay. Pavi?
How is it working with regard to the One Health approach? How is the coordination and collaboration happening with regard to the One Health approach? So is both the Ministry of Agriculture and the Public Health, they collaborate whenever there is a case of human?
Yeah, we have a very good One Health approach here. Any cases is merged or any cases report in health authority, they will regularly informing in the ADEFSA regarding this surveillance, passive surveillance, and will go to the farm and take the samples and send to that. This is approach. One Health approach is good and regularly doing that. More than that, we have to recommend any active surveillance, especially for the confirmation of the transmission of disease. Still, we are not sure that the disease is transmitted from camel to human. We don't have the concrete picture and concrete reason for the transmission from camel to human beings. Even our farmers are still wondering, then asking, you have any evidence of transferring this is from camel to man? Why you are taking the sample from my camel like that? They are still not aware of the transmission. So we have to have some clear picture regarding this transmission, please.
Yeah, I think this is a thing that the whole scientific community is trying for trying to find out the reasons how this transmission occurs.
Actually, Dr. Tarek, I have two questions. First of all, thank you, Dr. Gonalan. And it's very important and enrich presentation that you represent. Actually, I'm asking about the rapid test that some countries are using for detection of the MERS-CoV on the imported camels. Maybe they use it in the surveillance on the borders. What is your recommendation regarding that? Especially there is some Korean company that is producing like this type of product have a recommendation from the OIE, or that these a test is maybe recommended? This is the first question. The other one is regarding the vaccine for MERS-CoV. You said that the development of the vaccine is still under process within the stage 1. How can you estimate the progress for this commercial use of MERS-CoV vaccine? Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Dr. Mervat, for your questions. So I understand your first question is about the use of rapid antigen detection test that has been there. I understand you are referring to the Korean rapid test that has been approved, like a OHA approved diagnostic test available for MERS-CoV.
Yes.
So I think this test has been gone by the Biological Standards Commission, and they have undergone a procedure to evaluate and other things. I think the commission asked a lot of validation protocols and assays from this commercial company and then approved it. So I think this is quite used as what we understand is based on as a rapid antigen test. To detect MERS-CoV directly from samples of suspected camels and can be used in the field or laboratories for rapid. So we have a commercial kit that detect the recombinant nucleocapsid antigen of MERS-CoV are available. So the kits should be validated, I suppose. So we have a register of diagnostic kits certified. The procedure is to see how these kits could be used and detected. So we have a standardized protocol. And I think based on this, they have approved this one and could be used. However, according to the, as I told you, the terrestrial manual, the mainly the real-time RT-PCR assays on 2 targets, genome level, or the virus isolation is kind of a gold standard was there. But however, we can ask for a rapid screening can be used as an initial test, whereas it is already approved by OHA. So with regard to your second question on vaccines, so as I told you, these vaccines development are still on pipeline. They have on research is going on these 3 candidate vaccines, which we hear from the research community in international meetings. So it is there for almost, I don't know, like 2 or 3 years. It's a slow process. We do not know when it will be, at least on the research, because it depends on a lot of fundings and also the interest of the vaccine companies to accept this and produce it. Finally, when a vaccine is developed, it has to be produced by the vaccine companies, and also it has to have a market acceptance by the. So these are all the things which we study in the global technical meeting about, as I told you, the acceptance of camel vaccine, whether it could be a standalone vaccination for MERS-CoV or it should be a combination of vaccination with the camel pox. What is the implications, how it will be accepted, the social. So all these things are ongoing. So I don't have a direct answer now at this stage with regard to the camel vaccines, how we will produce. But research is going on. So I think we need to see and the broader future for the control, because dromedary camels is going to be there as a reservoir. So how we are going to prevent the spread from dromedary camels to the humans? That is where this camel vaccination is coming into context. Over.
Yes, thanks,
Thank you.
Babi, for the extensive clarification. And regarding what you asking about One Health approach, I think there is a good potential, and there is, also practice the experiences. Part of the countries they conducted the joint risk assessment. Also, part of them had the IHR BVS breaching workshops, so as to bring the public sector and veterinary sector together and to eliminate the gaps and improve the synergies and collaboration. I think all of this it could be invested upon. And also, I think in the Emirates, last year they conducted the zoonotic disease prioritization workshop also based on One Health. For all of these tools, strengthen the cooperation between the both sectors and including also the environmental sector to build up a base for One Health teams and One Health coordination. And I think in the future and the near future, One Health will be a norm in conducted control efforts against diseases, particularly the disease of pandemic or epidemic potentials. There is good experience in practicing One Health and the One Health approach, because it is an approach of working together with multi-sectoral teams and experts. And I think we are approaching the end of our webinar. Babid, you are welcome to say a final word if you wish, or to recommend any relevant recommendation to our working staff in the region regarding the disease, regarding surveillance, regarding the coordination with the other sectors, regarding also building skills and eliminating gap knowledge to better confront any changes or any arising challenges regarding the disease. And we are. The floor is yours. If you want to say a final word, Babit, or can I close the webinar? Okay. Okay. Thanks a lot, Juan, for the lecture again, and thanks for our attendees and our colleagues who interacted, and also for your presence, Paul. And wishing to see you in another webinar. We wish you all the best, and we hope that strength and effort will be in the future for the MERS-CoV, and also we are still impressed by your presence, and I wish you all the best, and goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.